You see anything good on film after watching?
I did. It's always frustrating when at the back end of a game and you're emotional of what just happened or what's even perceived. And then you get a chance to go back and reflect and watch the game tape. And here's what you saw. A defensive unit that yielded a touchdown in the first series. Then to come back and to go 5 consecutive series of making an opponent punt and give it to an offensive unit that at times put together 5-play, 7-play, 8-play drives, and at times had 3 and out, and way too inconsistent. And the thing that was very relevant was third down. Now, within that, you had 3rd and 15, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8. All the things we talked about staying away from. And we didn't. We got behind a couple of times. Again, on a run-up throw and an open guy, and the ball sails high. A drop pass here. A miscommunication on 3rd and 1. Well, half the line go left, the other half go right. Unfortunate, but fortunate enough that La Tech defense didn't necessarily dictate that. We self-destruct ourselves, and we didn't do the things that we needed to do. So it forces us to go back and really reflect on what we are asking of our team, and is it too much? And so, we'll see. We're taking intense study and evaluating ourselves and what we're asking of our team, and we're looking at personnel from top to bottom to see the players that give us the greatest opportunity to have success.
When you mention what you're asking of your team, do you mean like simplifying the playbook?
Yeah. And I don't think it's so much vast because we're not doing a whole bunch necessarily, but evidently on a 31 situation where you have a dual call and you don't want to run into a bad defense, and so it's a check play. It's fundamental. And so you have it, and for whatever reason, it isn't communicated effectively on both sides of the line, and so things of that nature.
So taking some of that out of the players' hands and just kind of dictating straightforward.
Yeah, giving it to them. Yeah.
I was curious if you guys were thinking about potentially doing more trick plays or some kind of variations to just try to find a spark somewhere.
We have been. We've been trying to generate those things. We had one in this past game, and it did not work. We'll continue to try to find, and we're open. If you got to play for us, we'll take it. We're open to all suggestions, and certainly we'll do everything in our power to try to find a spark. That's the intent, to generate points and to create offensive big play opportunity.
Looked like you want to get JoJo in there a little bit sooner than what he played. Do you think we'll see him a little bit more?
We'll see how practice goes. That position, as well as many others, are under evaluation, and we will use this practice time to see what gives us the best chance to win, and we will act accordingly at any and every position. From the very beginning, we always talked about the depth chart being etched in sand, and the stability of it is based on the production we're getting out of that group, and so we're looking hard across the board as our team as a whole, special teams as well.
What did you think of JoJo?
I thought he did well in the limited snaps. Certainly, it was the back end. By that time, our defense was worn. It was a 15-play drive that was X amount of minutes, maybe 7+ minutes or whatever it was, because we wanted to get him in much earlier, and unfortunately, it wasn't until the end. But he had he practiced well yesterday as well. Cordell did some good things in practice as well, but very pleased with the progress JoJo's making.
What have you seen in JoJo in practice, Coach, that has sort of separated him from the rest of the guys that are challenging for that number 2 job? And what's
accuracy?
Yeah.
He's
Throws a good
poised
ball.
and he's accurate.
Mhm. Is it, how strong is that arm? Because we haven't, I never saw him in high school. What does he look like? I mean, how,
Yeah. Well, he has 53 touchdowns, 1 intercept.
yeah, but I take it 6'4" and 220, he can throw it down.
So
I just have never seen that.
Yeah, no, that's a fair question.
Yeah.
He's a powerful man. He understands how to transition his weight to generate velocity with the football. He has hand talent and arm talent. He has not used it in a college atmosphere with the game in a balance yet. All of those things you have to experience. Yeah. And he hasn't had that yet. He has in practice situation, and we've continued to develop he in that room as a whole, and we'll continue to do so.
How has he developed from the start of the year to this point?
Quite a bit. You know, the biggest thing is just understanding what we're trying to get accomplished, and probably even more than just the offense, what defenses are doing to you. And so the more he's exposed to it, the better opportunity he has to adjust to it.
Is his case an example of the benefit of the change to the redshirt rule? How much have you used that this year?
Yeah, we've used it quite a bit in different scenarios. Whether it had been in play or not, I don't know if it would have determined whether we would have played him yesterday or considering playing him from this point on, just because of our need to be able to generate offense. So we may have, even without the rule, I guess what I'm saying is he probably would have, been under consideration to be involved in the game.
How did your offensive line grade out?
Again, passing grades, ironically, when they were matched in a situation against an opponent, mental errors in places that allowed run through. Now, the backfield only rushed the ball 10 times, although we had some design quarterback runs. And so it's hard to really, and they were more zone read, RPO type stuff where they pull it and were able to get on the perimeter. And so they were limited in those shots. But in those shots, we were decent opposed, except for the ones that we didn't block anybody. And when you didn't block anybody, it was more mental than a guy just beating you. Cordell got out of there a couple of times. Sometimes he may not even have needed to step up or over. So it wasn't even really a rush. I thought we did a decent job with Jalen Ferguson in limiting him to sack opportunities, although he had a couple of rushes and he played decent. I thought our tackles held up for the most part. It wasn't a sack fest, a tackle for yard fest. Every other play getting, and God knows we've had those days. We didn't have those issues. But not enough was done in totality of an offensive unit to generate sustained drives or points.
Do you have to play call around the offensive line when they can't get a reliable push, or when you're not sure if they'll be able to have protection? Does that change what kind of stuff you can do?
Yeah, I think, you look at the strength of your team, of our team, and you cater to it. I think play design is always personnel driven. Whether it's skilled or up front, you ask the guys to do what they can do opposed to what they can. Yeah.
Greg Campbell was dressed for this game, but I don't think he played any snaps.
He did not. Hopeful for this week. He was nicked the week before and was eager to play. But, we were always going to put our student athletes' health and welfare in consideration first, even before their heart and their ego that says I can. His body in a week of practice did not indicate that he was able to play his best. And here's what I said to him: Greg, if you're not at your best, when you have the ball in your hand, it's a red dot. Guys are trying to hit you with sincere punishment. And so you have to be able to defend yourself on that field. And to avoid and get away. And if you can't, then we can't put you out there. if you can't defend yourself at the most. And he wasn't, in my opinion, and our doctor's opinion, more than anything, able to do those things. And of course, I follow the lead of our doctors, our training staff. And so hopefully we'll see how this week goes. We can get him back. It was good to have more Quez back and to see him make some plays. And so to get Quez back would be to get Greg back would be a big deal for us.
What about the play of Blaze Moorhead? He had a career game for you guys inside.
Yeah, you know, he did some good things. That's what you want out of a guy like Blaze, who has that type of ability, whether it was on offense or coverage on punt team as a gunner, to nail a guy inside the 15-yard line, to use his speed, his quickness to be a difference. He continues to improve week by week.
Coach, what does Tyke need to do to get on the field a little more?
He needs to be consistent. He needs to do the things that he's been coached to do at full speed. He's a talented young man. He's young, and he's still evolving. We have the utmost optimism for him in the future. I think he can be as talented as he allows himself to be. But there's practice preparation that needs to transfer to game situation, and that can't be spotty. And sometimes it's the hitting stuff that don't make the film. But we're not down on him. We just need guys who can go out and consistently give us chances to win, and not sporadically.
Is he? I mean, his understanding of the system and everything, is that where you want it to be, or?
He's evolving.
Yeah. He's a freshman.
Greg Campbell's been very productive for you. Did it change the offense to not have him, or how does that impact the league?
It impacted us not having Greg. You know, it put more onus on Marquez, on Blaze, and some of those guys. For him to be in and have those guys compliment him certainly is a great add. He's our leading receiver, and we're without him in a game, in a big game, in the situations where we needed him most. You know, but that comes with the job description. You know, and so hopefully, you know, again, we can have him back this week. But certainly, it impacted our game not having our leading receiver with us.
C.J. Levine's had two of his most productive
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Do you see a big difference in him?
I do. You know, I used to tease him all the time. JJ was at my radio show that you guys don't come to, but okay, cool. And so I teased him on it because I would give him a hard time, and it wasn't that he was doing things so bad. I just would always like, when are you gonna make a play? Like, did you practice today? And the good thing is I didn't notice him because he wasn't getting beat or wasn't just missing tackles, but I didn't notice him. And so this year, this spring, this fall camp, he made it very clear you're gonna notice him, and he lets me know it every time. You saw that, huh? Hey, coach, you saw that? You know, he points it out to me. Which is a good thing, and I embrace it, and I love that he responds to the challenge. And so he's grown up and is playing his best football right now every week. You know, you look at guys like he and Les Morrow and King Newton, you know, there's guys who are making plays after plays, and they're putting together back-to-back weeks of doing so, which is a good thing.
How do you identify when a player responds well to challenges, or a guy that you know you can go at like that and he'll get something good out of it?
Yeah, everyone is different. So the approach is player specific. Different players are motivated by different things. And I think after spending time with them and getting to know them and the relationship and knowing what buttons to push, you're able to maximize that. But, you know, the same way I talk to C.J. Levine, I would talk totally different to Josh Dunlop. He's a more analytical guy. He's a more cerebral guy. So my conversations and demand for him will be totally different than my conversations with C.J. thus far.
You were saying just a minute ago, Coach, that King Newton has strung together some good games?
Yeah, he has.
How many?
The last 2 for sure, because he was out the week prior to that, but before that he was playing well. Had a week off with an injury, and have come back and played extremely well the last 2 weeks. His best so far.
What's going on with him?
You know what? He's healthy. He's healthy. I think he was a little dinged up, and the week off plus some time to just allow his body to heal has allowed him to be healthiest.
Is CJ the guy who calls the plays in the secondary or keeps those guys alive, right?
Yeah, he in the back end, yes, and Josiah and for the guys up front.
So when you look at CJ's development, has it been that mental side of answering challenges, or has it been a lot of physical over the years?
Physical. You know, he's always been a bright mind, a bright football mind, and he could get us a line. He's just more productive now. His production is off the charts now. A play where you as the receiver or runner was coming towards him, he may have analyzed it, measured it to be careful to make the tackle. And now he goes and get it. And it's a big difference because you're not in a wait-and-see catch and it runs down the field. He's closing the distance with volatility. He's striking people.
Yeah. And what is the next step in his development? Can you see that he can grow into?
Just to continue to do those things. He's put himself in position. He's caught an interception. He's hand clapped a couple. That means when defensive back missing, they go, oh, you know, get rid of no hand claps. All right, no hand claps. Catch it. And so, and he's developing in that area. But I think when he has opportunities to pick balls, to seize those moments, will be his next phase of development, continuous development.
Frank, how do you balance trying to develop some of the younger guys while still being able to compete in this conference USA?
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy because time waits for no man, and people don't have patience. But you know, we're in the nurturing business. This isn't the National Football League, and they're 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds. And it takes time for them to develop, and they have to grow up, and they have to fall to get up, and to put that in its perspective, to love them, to nurture them, to be stern with them, but yet bring them back to you. That's college football. That's what we do. We're not the Dallas Cowboys. You know, they're not pros. They're not full adults. They're just trying to figure out, and they make mistakes. And you live with those things, and you grow them up, and you develop them, and you get them better. Thank you, guys.
All right, Frank.